Hey guys, it's Christina Paulden here, and you're listening to the replays of the Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Story series. That's right, all day long, we're replaying breastfeeding stories from moms and specialists. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy. Hey guys, I'm Christina Paulden, and welcome to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast, your go-to podcast for building a love of learning in your little ones. Thank you for tuning in today, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Christina here. For Breastfeeding Awareness Month, I wanted to put together a series to help inform and inspire moms to breastfeed. So throughout the month, you'll hear moms and specialists share their breastfeeding stories and expertise. It's my prayer that this series provides you with the knowledge and support you need while on your breastfeeding journey. Please keep in mind that this series was created for informational purposes only. Please do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking help because of something you may have heard on this series. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. In today's series of Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Stories, we have Nakanda Frank here to share her story with us. Thank you so much, Nakanda, for being here. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. So whenever you're ready to share, we're listening.
Awesome. I am a mother of five, and I actually breastfed all five of my children. I started with my first child. My mother was a lactation consultant, and she actually encouraged me to breastfeed my first child. So, under her supervision, under her guidance, she was able to walk me through some tough times dealing with that for the first time. And so that was really good that she was there. With our second child, I breastfed her, but we ran into some complications, and I ended up contracting mastitis. And so I was under an antibiotic medication, and she was on a medication, but unfortunately we just kept reinfecting each other, and it was a lot of pain that I was experiencing, and she was not getting the nourishment that she needed. So I had to stop breastfeeding her and wean her at about 2 months. So at that time I was really disappointed. I was hurt because I really just knew how beneficial breastfeeding was, and it took a while for me to get over that. But I knew that the formula that we were on, the doctor said that it was okay for her. She was nourished, and she started growing more. And I knew that she was, healthy and everything.
Right.
So with my other three, our final three children, they were all breastfed. And I believe that my story with them comes from the healing that breastfeeding brought for me. So during that time with those three children, I experienced a lot of depression and anxiety. And so when I had those moments to nurse my children, it helped me to just sit down and focus on the moment that I was in and take a break mentally, and just kind of, you know, take a deep breath and just focus on what I was doing with that child and bonding with that child.
Right.
And I think it's the chemical reaction that comes along with breastfeeding, the endorphins that are released, and it just really helped to calm me down and to like re-energize me for when I was going back to the mommy mode. After
Mm-hmm.
feeding, I got to go back to the cleaning and the cooking and the wife stuff and all that. But it was really healing for me. So that's my story with my final three kids. It was healing for them. I mean, it was nurturing for them, but it was also healing for me as well.
Yes. Wow. You mentioned that your mom was a specialist, and I think that's awesome. A lot
Yes,
of breastfeeding moms do not have that support there, or just someone giving them that knowledge. It's not until after we have the child that we actually see someone about breastfeeding. So I think it's
right.
awesome that you had her there. But I want to ask, just what type of impact did that have? Because usually for the first child, we don't know. But because your mom was a specialist, I'm pretty sure you knew all of this. So it made your journey with your first son, with your first child, easier.
Right. It was very impactful. Before I became pregnant, while I was in like college and high school, I was actually able to help out with the classes that she taught because she worked through the WIC program in the city that I grew up in. And so the weekly or monthly classes that she would host, I was able to help with getting the literature together. And she was really interactive. She liked to make bulletin boards every month with themes and
Oh,
just
wow.
to get the moms hyped, and excited about breastfeeding and know the benefits of it. And so hearing her share her story. I was not breastfed, but my youngest brother was. And so she would always tell them the comparison between me and my other two brothers who were not breastfed, and then my youngest brother who was breastfed. And people were in awe because I think he was breastfed for maybe 2 or 3 years, I think,
Oh, wow.
my youngest brother. And so she would compare how we were different as children, mentally, physically,
Hmm.
emotionally. And, they got women excited. And so taking that, what she taught and her story, and seeing my brother like literally in front of me, and knowing that she was there to help me if I was having trouble latching on, and just her encouragement, um, it was very much needed, very much needed.
You also stated something that I wanted to talk about. You stated that while you were nursing, it allowed you to relax and kind to like escape from the world around you. And I think this is something that a lot of us can relate to, because when we nurse, we kind of have to stop everything that's going on around us, and we have to just
Right.
kind of give that child that one-on-one attention that they need. So yes, nursing can definitely be relaxing. Doesn't matter what we're doing, where our mindset is at. While we're nursing our child, we're calm. And a lot of the times, if we're not calm, they can feel that energy. And so they're
Oh,
not calm,
absolutely.
they can't latch on. So yeah,
Yeah.
they cause us to relax, and then now we're relaxed because we're able to nurse them. So I think that's awesome that you were able to use those nursing sections as your time to just kind of relax and just get a break from everything that was going on around you. That's awesome. Okay, I want to ask you if you would like to offer any words of encouragement to the breastfeeding mothers.
Yes. Thank you for asking that. I would like to, I guess I could say that um, just remembering times when, as a mom of multiples, a lot of times you just have so many things on your plate. And I remember, especially with my fifth child, like I just remember thinking like, I need to do this, I need to do that. My husband's coming home from work, I got to cook, I got to clean, I got to
Mhm.
potty train. And so just, I guess just remember that what you're doing is beneficial for your child. And, don't take those moments lightly, because like you mentioned, if your child senses that you're anxious or that you're not comfortable or any kind of disruption, they're not going to want to latch on.
Right.
They're going to be fussy and they're going to be anxious themselves. So just take those moments and just be in those moments,
Yes,
and take everything that you can from absorb everything you can from those moments.
I agree. Nakanda, can you tell us where people can find you?
Yes, I am a homeschool consultant and coach, and you can find me online, nakondainfrank.com. You can also follow me on social media, Facebook. Nakonda N. Frank Consulting is my Facebook business page, and on Instagram and Twitter, I am at Nakonda_N_Frank.
Nakanda, thank you again for being here and sharing your story with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
To the listeners, I want you to be sure to leave your breastfeeding questions in the comment section below. Let us know what they are so that we can get them answered for you. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. For more resources and tips on how to create a love of learning in your little one, visit teachingaloveoflearning.com. Be sure to subscribe so you're notified when new episodes are posted. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's Christina Paulden here, and you're listening to the replays of the Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Story series. That's right, all day long, we're replaying breastfeeding stories from moms and specialists. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy. Hey guys, I'm Christina Paulden, and welcome to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast, your go-to podcast for building a love of learning in your little ones. Thank you for tuning in today and enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Christina here. For Breastfeeding Awareness Month, I wanted to put together a series to help inform and inspire moms to breastfeed. So throughout the month, you'll hear moms and specialists share their breastfeeding stories and expertise. It's my prayer that this series provides you with the knowledge and support you need while on your breastfeeding journey. Please keep in mind that this series was created for informational purposes only. Please do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking help because of something you may have heard on this series. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. In today's series of Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Stories, we have Wei Lee here to share her story with us. Thank you, Wei, for being here with us today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on to share your story. Could you introduce yourself to the listeners and let us know about your breastfeeding journey?
Yes. So I am Chinese. I was born in China, and as a child who was growing up in China, breastfeeding wasn't really a thing that I ever saw, and it wasn't a thing that was ever talked about. And then when I moved here to the U.S., it also wasn't really a thing that was talked about or shown. It was just you kind of knew about it, just abstractly. And it wasn't probably until I was in high school or college where, some of my older friends were having kids. And so it was like the first time I actually saw in person Black moms breastfeeding. And it was such a emotional journey for my friends and their babies, but also for me, just because I could see the connection they had. And so when I started having kids in 2015, and I had my second one in 2018, it was super important to me to breastfeed them, not just because I knew of the benefits that breastfeeding provides, but also know that about the history of breastfeeding and wet nurses in the US. And my kids are half Black. And so I want to provide, some sort of foundation for them that when they look back on their life, they might not remember it, really well, but maybe they can remember it fondly.
Right.
And to also be a springboard for them when they have their own kids, that it could be like, oh, like I remember, bonding with my mom, as a baby and having this precious time. And so they would do the same for their kids. And I still so my first one, I breastfed her for 2.5 years until I got pregnant with the second one. And then my second one, who's a little over 2 now, we're still breastfeeding. She just enjoys, cuddling, snuggling, and it provides comfort. And especially, I think, in the midst of a pandemic, although she might not understand it, but it's security and comfort, and they're important to kids.
Right. I recently spoke to someone that stated our nursing allowed them to kind of escape, the world that was going on. And it just it gave them a moment to just calm down and be in that moment with the child. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the world today. And, our babies can feel our energies. They know that, there's tension in the air. So definitely nursing them is going to calm everybody down. So there's still benefits from that.
Yeah.
So can I ask you if you can think of any breastfeeding essentials that you would say are essential when you're ready to breastfeed?
Yes. A good supportive partner or someone to help you when you need help. Nursing pads, definitely nursing pads. Oh my gosh. Nipple cream. And you don't have to put a lot of nipple cream on, just like a little bit, and it helps a lot. But it's definitely like must have, because babies will bite you even without teeth. And then they grow teeth, and yeah. Those, I don't know, I wouldn't say like a body pillow, but definitely a pillow or some sort of cushion. Because sometimes it gets tiring just holding them in your arms, and you want somewhere to rest your arm on. I actually do a lot of breastfeeding laying down. And so having like a comfortable bed or a couch or something is very nice. Yeah.
Everything you've listed, I totally agree. I had all of those, and they are definitely essential, especially support. And I've said this multiple times during interviews, but something that keeps coming up is support and knowledge. So those are the two things that you're going to want to make sure you have. Make sure you have that support, and also just knowledge of what to expect and how to do things. So is there anything that you wish you would have known before you started breastfeeding?
Yes, I wish someone had told me, and I don't know if I would have believed them, but the amount of pain that engorgement causes, and how, even if your baby is sleeping through the night, that it's probably a good idea for you to get up and either express your milk or pump so you don't get engorged. I think probably the biggest one is the engorgement. And I think and also the biting. People don't really tell you that babies bite. They're like, oh, they don't have teeth, their gums are soft. But some babies have real sharp gums.
Yeah. You said, I don't think I would have believed them about the pain. And I think that's why this is so important, is because although someone tells us something, although we may not really be able to understand it or believe it, when it happens, we're able to say, oh, wait a minute, I remember hearing about this. This is normal. This is what's supposed to happen. So although, we don't believe it, or it's hard for us to understand, us knowing that it's what's supposed to happen is really good. So can I ask you, Wei, if you would like to offer any words of encouragement to breastfeeding mothers?
Yeah. So some people have it easy. Some people have it hard. And my biggest encouragement is not to compare your breastfeeding journey and experience with anybody else, and not to compare even your kids' breastfeeding journey with each other, because every kid is different, every birth is different, and every experience is going to be different. And so whether you face challenges or you don't, and it goes smoothly, I would try to encourage you to enjoy the bonding, enjoy the journey, make the most out of it, because your kids are not going to be babies forever. They're probably not going to breastfeed forever either. And when you do stop, at least for me, I did miss that bonding with my oldest. And I think even to this day, she's now 5. So it's been about 2.5 years. She still misses that bonding.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because she sees her little sister,
Right.
breastfeeding. Um, and so she tries to come in my lap and snuggle like in the position that she would if she was still breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
So just enjoy that time with your baby.
Good advice. Thank you so much, Wei. Could you let everyone know where they can find you?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Wait on the Lord. So it's WEITONTHELORD.
Thank you again, Wei, for being here and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.
To the listeners, I want you to leave all of your breastfeeding questions in the comment section below. Let us know what they are so we can get those answered for you. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. For more resources and tips on how to create a love of learning in your little one, visit teachingaloveoflearning.com. Be sure to subscribe so you're notified when new episodes are posted. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's Christina Paulden here, and you're listening to the replays of the Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Story series. That's right, all day long, we're replaying breastfeeding stories from moms and specialists. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy. Hey guys, I'm Christina Paulden, and welcome to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast, your go-to podcast for building a love of learning in your little ones. Thank you for tuning in today, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Christina here. For Breastfeeding Awareness Month, I wanted to put together a series to help inform and inspire moms to breastfeed. So throughout the month, you'll hear moms and specialists share their breastfeeding stories and expertise. It's my prayer that this series provides you with the knowledge and support you need while on your breastfeeding journey. Please keep in mind that this series was created for informational purposes only. Please do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking help because of something you may have heard on this series. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. In today's series of Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Stories, we have Christina Morris here to share her stories and also answer some questions. Christina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I first want to go into, I'm excited to hear your story. I want to know if you could share your breastfeeding story with us.
Yes. So I I have a 2-year-old now, but 2 years ago in February, I had a complicated, pregnancy. I had 4 consecutive miscarriages before a successful pregnancy, and so my focus was really genuinely, it was just get my baby here alive, and because all I knew how to do was miscarry. And so when my OB, when I would ask him, what are some things that I need to know or how can I prepare, he was just really focused on getting our baby here healthy. And in an OB world, the support is genuinely focused on just that. It's not supportive thereafter. And so having her, I ended up having an emergency C-section. after all of this hard work of trying to get her here, my husband held her first. And when you have a C-section and your baby doesn't travel through your birth canal, through your vagina, a vaginal birth, there are all the whistles and bells that are supposed to be hit, telling your body you're no longer pregnant. It's time to release milk. All of these things didn't happen. And so, having a cesarean, a C-section is very unnatural. It's traumatic to the body. And so what was told to me is that your body still thinks it's pregnant. So let's just put you on this big breast pump, and every 30 minutes you need to be pumping, and every 15 minutes you need to be trying to express milk and trying to latch your baby. And so my very first experience was actually very overwhelming. I was in excruciating pain from the cesarean. Whenever my daughter's name is Zoe, and whenever she would latch, and later did I find her latch was shallow. Typically, a baby, oh my goodness, there's just so many things that went wrong with that situation, because I don't have protruding nipples. I have flat nipples, and I have very big breasts. And so when the lactation, there were two of them. When one of the lactation consultants would come in, I felt like she was very rough with me. And I don't know if it was because my breasts were so large. I don't know if it's because she's been doing it so long that, just kind of, I don't know, desensitized to a mother. But it was just overwhelming and invasive for a woman to come in and just kind of manhandle my breast, move my breast around, like say, okay, we need to do this, and the approach, I felt like her bedside manner was very disconnected, and we struggled to communicate effectively. And so I even had to tell her, stop touching me like that. You don't have to be so rough. And she goes, no, it's okay. The baby just needs to latch. And just the way she grabbed the back of my baby's head to present my baby to my breast, it was just, to me, it was really rough. But this is, again, these are brand new eyes. When a mother becomes a mother outside in the world, earth side, right? The baby and the mother are newborn. They're newborn. You've never put a human being to your body and had to nourish it. And so that pressure of, I need to feed you, I am responsible for your life continuing, I want it to continue, and I am your source, is a heavy weight that we hold. And it's emotional. You are going through this not only on a cellular level, but on an emotional level. You want to connect with your child. You don't know if you have it figured out, and you have to learn, just like this brand new soul that is outside of your body now, screaming like, help me. First time I'm feeling hunger, first time I'm feeling pain, because it's been so, sheltered inside of your body. And so and then I had another lactation consultant that kind of explained to me, she was actually against what the hospital policy was, like, your baby has to remain in this little glass box sitting next to your bed. The reason why your baby is crying, and she explained it to me, and it began to like open up my level of understanding of how much my baby needed to be skin to skin.
Yes.
How much that skin to skin would actually help my milk gradually come in. And it's not this foreign machine called a breast pump that's going to make my milk come in. It's actually naturally my baby, organically my baby will help my milk come in and help me understand your baby is now on the outside of your body. It is earthside, and it is now time to release this milk. Oxytocin is the hormone that helps you release that milk. And so when you have a baby, your baby, skin to skin with you, you feel that warm, I call them like the warm, fuzzy feelings, you know, that makes you cry, that makes you don't want to let go of your baby. And so the more I did that and just sat in that, the more my milk came in. My milk came in very gradually. It took about 3 or 4 days. And they actually requested, because she was born at 6'11", but she lost the 11 and was really headed towards 5 pounds. And they kept trying. They came into my room so much that I was just completely overwhelmed. I couldn't relax. I felt almost like fearful every time they came in, because they were telling me, okay, did she pee? Did she poop? Did she latch? How much did she drink? How do I know how much milk she's getting? You know, I don't know the answers to the questions. And so it was very invasive. And those were my first experiences in this breastfeeding journey. And then when I left and they just kind of kick you loose, there was no more there was really no more support other than my husband, who doesn't breastfeed, who's never breastfed. You know, he was very much so a part of my support, but not that part of my support. He was just like, hey, you got this, you can do this. And it was like, no, I can't. I was completely defeated. Another part of my, you know, breastfeeding journey is like what I was taught from my mom, my mother, at a very early age. I was the longest breastfed child she had. I was almost 3, you know? Yeah. And so, I mean, she was pregnant with my brother and was about to have him. And she got sick and had to be in the hospital with him, pregnant. And that is how I actually stopped breastfeeding. So my mother is no longer with me. You know, she passed away. And I was 22 years old, and here I am now 38 years old having this baby. And I wanted to honor her by breastfeeding as long as she breastfed me, or even longer. She loved it, and you know, she was proud of it. And how did I know, out of 3 kids, you know, being the middle child, that I was the longest breastfed child, you know, growing up. She was like, oh my God, you never wanted to stop. I never thought you were ever going to stop, you know. And so it just, that rang true to me. And it was just like, I mourned her, you know, even more, because I felt like I'm failing. And I didn't know about breastfeeding support groups. I didn't know that people could come to your house. I didn't know that there were social media groups. I didn't know. I was just brand new trying to do this. And I had a screaming, crying baby that, you know, I knew she was hungry, and I didn't know how to get the milk out of my body into her body. And so, of course, that begets a whole lot of mommy guilt. And I learned that really quick. Like, this is horrible. I don't know what to do, you know. And, you know, just not knowing what her hunger cues were, sleeping through her hunger cues, giving her a pacifier too soon. You know, we tried these things because we're literally newborn mothers. And so I gained that concept later, like, okay, this is why this was so hard, you know, because we were never meant to do this alone. Women need women. Women need women to go through this journey of becoming a brand new mother. So that was my intro to my journey. And of course, I feel like I have like a PhD in nursing my baby now, you know.
Yeah, that was that was good. And what's crazy is that although our names are the same, our stories are very similar. I also had 3 miscarriages. I had 3 miscarriages before I successfully was able to deliver my daughter. And I know that feeling of just get my baby out. Like, I just have to make it. And, you know, not really even being able to enjoy the pregnancy. You know, you're like, you're poking at the stomach, like, are you okay? You know, could you move something? You know, I need to know that you're okay in there. So I know that stress of just, oh my goodness, like, I just want to get over this. Can this 9 months please be over? So I hear you. I also had a C-section with my first. So
Oh, wow.
Again, very, very dramatic, you know, that type of stuff
Mm-hmm.
kind of just sticks with you.
Yes.
Because that was definitely not part of our plans, but I definitely feel you on that. But
Mm-hmm.
how our story is a little different is that I was extremely blessed to get someone in there to pour all of the knowledge she had about breastfeeding when I delivered my daughter. And I
Amazing.
know she was in there with us like an hour and 30 minutes, me and my husband, and she just told us, this is what's going to happen. You know, you can do this. You have to do this. This is what you can expect. She helped out so much. Again, this was just an hour and 30 minutes. And I know that we are struggling because we don't know. We're
Mm-hmm.
struggling because no one is telling us.
Yes.
And that's our issue. So that's the whole point of this series, is to
Mm.
put that information out there, because it's
Yes.
simple stuff. You know, when you know that the baby needs skin to skin, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah,
Right.
let me hold the baby skin to
That all?
skin, as opposed to just having them, you know, in the crib or whatever. They need that. You need
Mm-hmm.
to be looking for those feeding cues. You need to be paying attention to your baby. You
Mm-hmm.
need to know, you know, what your breasts are going to do, and what's normal and what's not normal, and what to
Mm-hmm.
do if this happens. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit how our stories are different. But like I said, once you knew that knowledge, it was like, oh, I wish, you know,
Got this.
I would, yeah, I wish I would have known this beforehand. This is easy
Mm-hmm.
now. So
Mm-hmm.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So now I
Absolutely.
want to ask you some questions. I want to know if you can break down what the first time breastfeeding mom will experience.
Yes. So depending on in which manner your baby comes earthside, if it is by way of C-section, cesarean delivery, um, I just believe that you may, of course, you're going to have the uncomfortability of, the operational pain, right?
Right.
Um, I don't know what it feels like to vaginally deliver and then latch your baby, but so my my experience that has taught me, when latching a baby after a cesarean, you do feel your uterus contract when you actually have a letdown, when the oxytocin has released and now your milk is flowing and your baby's getting that good, the latch is secure and good, it's a good seal, and then the milk is actually coming out of your body. So those first experiences of a good letdown, the uterus contracts and it's very painful, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're going to feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
If your baby is not latching, which not every baby latches perfectly, they literally have to learn this skill. There's 5 muscles in the baby's mouth that's got to work simultaneously together to get the milk from your body. That is painful, but it's not unbearable pain
Mm-hmm.
that it's like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is, your your labor was unbearable almost, so that, nursing the baby is just a different concept, and it can be very awkward if the positioning isn't correct, if the support of your, nursing pillow isn't correct, however you want to do it. But yeah, I think just like the initial experiences, if you don't have the support of someone who has done this before, who is that you're comfortable with helping you position correctly, then it can be very awkward. And I think just the initial feeling of your baby latching onto your body, of course, it's awkward. So so I know these are these are not necessarily like good warm feelings. It does
Mm-hmm.
get better, and so
Mm-hmm.
I think that the very first couple of times that you experience latching your baby, I just feel like you just need to be patient with the process, realize that you're a newborn mom, you are newborn. Like,
Yeah.
you really don't know what you're doing, and you really need that support, just like your baby needs all of this support. So does the mom. So I think that's the first thing that you need to, that you're going to experience, is that it will be awkward. It will be uncomfortable. It may not flow just like in your brain, like anything that you've seen before, like advertised or media or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, one, it's not that bad. And then, so don't catastrophize it. But
Mm-hmm.
two, it can be awkward because it's your first time.
Right.
So
Right. Could we talk about the benefits of breastfeeding?
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's so many benefits. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, your baby's, the newborn baby's immune system is like, oh my goodness, it's crying for your milk. Your milk is like completely, um, it is made specifically for your baby's need in that moment. And there is nothing outside of your body that can match that. And so, just having your babies, because your baby's insides are sterile, your baby's gut is sterile, and so that breast milk going inside is like, it's perfect. It's tailored to your baby's physical, mental, emotional need. And it is amazing how your baby, can grow. And I mean, if there is a situation to where you cannot breastfeed, then of course there's other alternatives. But just like you grew this baby inside your body is providing everything that your baby needs
Mm-hmm.
to thrive and to grow and to become stronger. And so it's also, the bond that you, have with your child to, um, nourish your child from your own body. It's just amazing. The benefits are so amazing for mommy and for baby. I know that, my baby, well, I had to be on insulin, when I was pregnant. And so, one, they were telling me I was going to have a huge baby. I had an average size, what they
Mm.
consider normal size, weighted baby. I had a 6 pound, 11 ounce baby, and she lost the 11 ounces like as soon as she came out. It was like, did
Mm.
she pee, or where was it? Was it hair? Was it placenta? What are you talking about? So I mean, I had an average size baby. Um, and I had to use donor milk, to get her weight back up, actually. So I had the SNS, feeding, that I had to learn how to do to just get her out of the hospital. But just coming home and everything, she was very gassy. And so because I didn't have the support, or I didn't know any better, I was giving her formula, and I was kind of supplementing and going back and forth with just trying everything. I was trying everything. But when I got to a support group, she was 3 months old and I was about to stop. And I also, we were going through a lot of different changes because I was working and then not working. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was just a lot of stress. But my daughter's immune system, I felt like she wasn't a sickly baby, but anytime she would get a runny nose or anything like that, and I would just increase her breastfeeding, her turnaround time to get, cleared of all of that was shorter. I would
Mm.
notice that the more I nursed her, the more she was
Yes.
able to fight off whatever, because we were in different environments, because a baby has mucus or whatever.
Yeah.
So just the simple fact of just latch your baby, just every time present. And like, even like, because a baby likes to soothe and suckle, the benefits of just latching your baby, and that saying, and just to do that, to actually do the act, it was so beneficial of even calming me down. So I realized that I had anxiety about my whole situation, and all I had to do was kind of like step away in a quiet place and latch my baby. My baby would feel my anxiety and get all anxious and, fussy. And once I stopped and calmed myself down and just latched my baby, it was so soothing. I got that oxytocin release. I felt centered, so there's benefits for mom. There's benefits for baby. I was able to bounce back from a cesarean very quickly. My blood sugar dropped immensely because I was breastfeeding. And so when I went back to my doctor, they were like, oh, yes, please continue to breastfeed. Now it was, it was like, oh, okay. So there's benefits not only for me, but for her.
Right.
And I was able to heal very quickly from my C-section, an operation, a very invasive operation. And her birth weight, of course, just soared. And she was considered very healthy. Went going through immune shots and things like that, breastfeeding through those things. Any transitions that she made, any stages that she went through, breastfeeding her definitely, even cutting teeth, just any type of pain. It soothes the baby. It helps them with pain receptors. Colicky babies, really, because they just really, that breast milk definitely helps them with every aspect. She even rash. I would put, just baby acne, put breast milk on it, clears up in 2 days. I did test it. I tested it. I also tested it on my stretch marks. They faded, so it was, I started to geek out about, oh, what
else can I use
it? Wait, let me see about this hairline, so it was just like, and I'm not saying that it made the hair grow, but I'm just saying, I would, man, and it's crazy because in the beginning, my milk was so slow to come in. And then like I had the floodgates of heaven open up, and it was like, do you need breast milk? How about you? Anybody? Wait, did you bump into the wall? Let me put some breast milk on it.
That's hilarious.
It was just, I put breast milk on everything. So, I just, it has so many benefits.
Yes.
It's that they don't know everything that's in it because it comes out of you. Your body is actually, it's so beautifully and powerfully made that you are making tailored food for your child that has prebiotics in it, and whatever your baby is exposed to, as soon as the baby latches, the saliva absorbs into the breast, and that saliva triggers those things that are needed to help that baby fight off whatever it's been exposed to.
Right.
And so, flu season, all these things that were happening. And then even now, as we live in a pandemic world, I am breastfeeding her as a defense against COVID. She's 2, so she licks and touches everything. It's like, oh my God, please stop licking things, and she has remained healthy as a 2-year-old that doesn't wear a mask, that goes to daycare. Other kids have a little snotty nose or whatever. All I've got to do is shoot some breast milk in that nose and then latch her. And it's gone. It's miraculously gone. So I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know this, that I have nursed her since birth to 2 years old, and she's never really been sick.
Yes.
She's had the common little runny nose. She's had, a few things because she licks things, so, she's gotten sick off of those types of things, but breastfeeding her through a cold or a stomach bug or whatever has been my go-to move. It's been my, gospel truth that this is amazing.
Right. And we fed both of our children. And again, like as far as being sick, they hardly ever get sick. And if they do, it doesn't last for a few days.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. I want to ask you, what are some encouraging words that you would like to give to the breastfeeding mother?
I would like to just say, you know, for one, embrace the fact that this is a brand new relationship. You know, understand that everything that you are and everything that you have inside of you is exactly what your child needs, and nothing exterior.
Mm.
You know, um, your baby is going to nurse with its entire body, feet, hands. You know, it may feel awkward, you know, to hold a human being that's yours. It came out of you. You help this baby, you know, be here, get here, and it doesn't know immediately, and you will not know immediately how to get your flow and your routine and your, you know, kind of like your groove, you know, your rhythm of getting this baby fed. And so if you are patient with yourself and your expectation is, I'm going to learn you as you learn me,
Mm-hmm.
it will be so much. I mean, I feel like my head was in the way. And if you get your head out of the way and you just understand, okay, we're in this together. This is you and me, and we're going to figure this out. If you approach it that way and you don't have this like premeditated understanding that it's just supposed to happen,
Yeah.
you know, then I think that you know, I know that for myself, once I got that concept of, okay, I'm going to learn you and you are going to learn me. And just because you're kicking your legs, just because it looks like, I feel like you're pushing me away, I was internalizing my baby's attempts to try and get food in her
Mm-hmm.
body. And so they've never felt hunger pains before. They've never felt the pain of what hunger feels like. They've never felt gas in their body. And so, why is my baby crying? You know, why my baby doesn't want it? You know, I actually had this thought in my head. It was a crazy thought. My breast milk is making my baby sick.
Mm.
You know, because every time afterwards she was crying. Well, I wasn't burping her,
Mm.
and she was taking in a lot of air
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how to get my flat nipple to get into the deeper part
Yes.
of her mouth. And so she was a shallow latch and she was sucking in a lot of air. So here you have this little gas bubble going through her body that she's never felt before. And I'm thinking that's because the breast milk, you know. So I would say, you know, please get to a support group. Please reach out.
Mm.
I am available. I don't care where it is, you know. I love how we can support once we get that support, and, you know, just coaching that, you know, you have everything in you to do this. And if you want, you know, and just like we want anything in the world that is worth fighting for, you know, it takes some time to learn it, to perfect it.
Mm-hmm.
You can become a PhD mom, you know, to your baby, and it takes time. Just like anything else, it takes time. So be patient, be kind to yourself. Understand that just because you see other people doing this, or just because you hear other people's experiences, they don't necessarily have to be your experience. And so that was another thing. I was, you know, I had one other person who was a mom of two, and she had breastfeeding challenges. And I automatically thought I was going to have those same challenges. Like once
Mm-hmm.
my cycle started, my milk was going to stop. It didn't. It kept going. Go figure. You know, I mean, we are all individually made differently. And so, you know, you just need a good support system of people that you can call at any period and point in time. That's what I would say to a new mom. You really do, before your baby is born, connect yourself with a breastfeeding support group or a breastfeeding, I don't know, social group or something like that, just to be around people who do this and who want to do this. If you want to do that, then you choose to do that, then you surround yourself with people who are successful at it. And so I think that that's what I would tell a new mom.
Mm. Wow. Christina, thank you so much for being here today, for sharing your story, and for answering our questions. Could you let the listeners know where they can find you?
Yes. So I am in sunny Southern California. I'm in the city of Redlands. And I am also on Facebook under Christina with a K, Loves LUVS. I mean, Skinner Loves Morris. So it's SKINNERLUVS Morris, MORRIS. And it is a public page. And so you can message me and just let me know. I would love to speak to you and love to be there for you.
Thank you again, Christina.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, to the listeners, I want to hear from you. I want to know if you feel encouraged to breastfeed. And I also want to ask you to list your worries, your concerns, your questions. List all of those in the comment section so we can get those answered for you. I thank you all for tuning in, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. For more resources and tips on how to create a love of learning in your little one, visit teachingaloveoflearning.com. Be sure to subscribe so you're notified when new episodes are posted. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's Christina Paulden here, and you're listening to the replays of the Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Story series. That's right, all day long, we're replaying breastfeeding stories from moms and specialists. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy. Hey guys, I'm Christina Paulden, and welcome to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast, your go-to podcast for building a love of learning in your little ones. Thank you for tuning in today, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Christina here. For Breastfeeding Awareness Month, I wanted to put together a series to help inform and inspire moms to breastfeed. So throughout the month, you'll hear moms and specialists share their breastfeeding stories and expertise. It's my prayer that this series provides you with the knowledge and support you need while on your breastfeeding journey. Please keep in mind that this series was created for informational purposes only. Please do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking help because of something you may have heard on this series. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. In today's series of Breastfeeding Awareness, Inspiration, and Stories, we have Andrita Baker here to share her story. Andrita, are you here?
I am. Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I appreciate it. Whenever you're ready to share, we're listening.
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me. So I will start with that I am a mother of 3 girls. My oldest daughter is 15. My next daughter is 4. And my youngest is 1. So there's a big gap between baby 1 and baby 2. I attempted to breastfeed everybody. So my oldest daughter, I was a new mother, so I wasn't very aware, but I knew I wanted to do it. But it didn't last long. I breastfed her probably for about 3 to 4 months, which was good. But my goal was to go at least a year, if not longer, a year. Then 11 years later, here comes another baby. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And it lasted. I breastfed her for 18 months exactly. And I actually kicked her off. And I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. And then less than 30 days later, she got sick and went into the hospital. And I was so devastated because she wouldn't eat. in the hospital, and she wouldn't nurse anymore either. So I was like, oh no, what did I do to my baby? And then my third daughter, who just turned 1, she's my only baby who's self-weaned, who did not want me anymore. And it was a bittersweet ending because I was like, well, she was like, no, I'm gonna bite you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you some teeth is what I'm gonna do. But I think that over the course of everything, it was the best thing was that as I grew and as the more children I had, the more support I had.
Mm-hmm.
And the more information I had. So the first time didn't go long because I didn't know that I needed to start storing milk before I went back to work.
Right.
So I had no idea. I was like, well, how does this work? I'll just pump today and give her what I pump today tomorrow. It didn't work like that. So I had no type of stash, no type of backup. With my second baby, she was in the NICU. So that started me off good as far as having a good amount stored because I had to pump and take it to the hospital for her. And that set me off pretty good. And the third one is like 3 times the charm. I got this. So she just told me she didn't want me anymore though.
You mentioned not having support and knowledge, and this keeps coming up on each interview, just how you have to have support, and if you don't have it, it's not successful. And also knowledge, we need to know what to expect, because if we don't know what to expect, we don't know what we're doing, then we're not going to successfully breastfeed. But you brought that up, support and knowledge, and you said by the third time you had it down. You knew what you were doing. So
I did. My mother did not breastfeed me or my brother, so she was support, but she wasn't the type of support I needed because she couldn't answer the questions that I had. She was there. She was like, you can do it when I wanted to quit. But I was like, well, what do I do? And she's like, I don't know. So I found that being around other mothers and fathers who were involved in breastfeeding journey, it's hard when you're the first generation to breastfeed your children because people look at it in a very obscure way, to say the least. I've had people say all types of things to me. And I just tell them it's none of your business. Like, you ain't got no problem with this, then I ain't got no problem with it. Let's just keep moving. To put it in the nicest way to say. But definitely when people ask me, it's funny because I work, and a lot of times the girls ask me, because during my breastfeeding my last 2 daughters, I would take, pump breaks, and they would be like, well, I'm going to have a baby, and can I ask you questions? Absolutely. Ask me all the questions. I would be like kind of the butt of some of the jokes in the office, which was fine. But people really are curious once they see what you're doing or know what you're doing and, see your baby growing. They're like, wow, how did you do that? Like, this is all you? Yeah, I did that. This is all me.
Oh, I hear you. Let me ask, what do you wish you would have known before you started breastfeeding?
Wow. From the very, very beginning, I wish I would have known, one, that it's hard, that it's not easy. I wish I would have known the amount of dedication that it really takes. And just known, somebody to be able to answer my questions or be helpful. A lot of times you are referred to WIC. Well, WIC services, they'll help you. They're not even now, I think they are, but 15 years ago, they were not lactation consultants. So they're just kind of giving their own personal experience and personal situation. And if you're really promoting that, then you should have the people in place. I didn't realize that asking my pediatrician questions was not really, they're not a lactation consultant either. So they're only kind of telling you from their professional experience. I think I wish I would have known the right places to be connected to get the right information.
That's good. If you could summarize breastfeeding into 3 words, what would they be?
Dedication, hard work, and joy.
Joy. Dedication, hard work, joy. All right, that's good. Would you like to offer breastfeeding moms or moms that are interested in breastfeeding any words of encouragement?
You can do it. Stick to it. Do what's comfortable for you. Don't let people make you feel bad because you're supplementing, or if you decide not to breastfeed or it didn't work. It's okay. Do what works best for you and try to get as much information as possible, as much correct information, because once you have that, you can do with it whatever you want to. And if you have a lot of naysayers or whatever, just try to surround yourself around people who are positive and who are about it. Because some people just don't get it. They just don't understand it.
Thank you so much again for sharing your story. Can you let people know where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me. My name is Andrea Baker, but on social media, I am on Facebook, I'm Squeaky AC Baker. And on Instagram, you can find me, Miss Squeaky is where I am. Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you again. To the listeners, I want to hear from you. I want you to list all of your breastfeeding questions and concerns in the comment section. Do this so that we can answer these questions for you. Thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Teaching a Love of Learning podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. For more resources and tips on how to create a love of learning in your little one, visit teachingaloveoflearning.com. Be sure to subscribe so you're notified when new episodes are posted. Talk to you soon.